What's up, African Fight fam? It's your boy JB, and I'm back at it again with another video. So today, guys, we are gonna be talking about something that I've really never done before. Um, just so you know, this is the African Fighters. Make sure you like and subscribe. We talk about all things combat sports from African fighters globally. You could peep our content and see what we are about. But today we are going to be talking about something we haven't spoken about before. This is a celebrity boxing fight, and we as we speak about all combat sports Africa, I believe uh, it has the most buzz coming out of Africa, and deservedly so, because we have on one side we have Cassper Nyovest, who is has been training to be a boxer recently. Not really a boxer, a celebrity boxer, sort of like the Jake Paul route. And on the other hand, we have a guy called Naak Music. To be honest, guys, I didn't know who Naak Music was until this fight was announced, after I saw Casper's first fight against Slick Talk, who is a YouTuber from South Africa. So I'm just gonna get straight into it. So this fight, things for you to know about this fight: it was done in a catch weight. What that means that it was unofficially done on any weight class. So there was an agreed upon weight that isn't in a heavyweight or a light heavyweight, that both fighters agreed to reach weight. I heard a bit of a thing about Casper struggling to make weight, but he looked fit compared to his previous look. If you would see how Casper looked a couple of months ago and what he looked like last night, because I'm speaking about this after I woke up this morning. Yeah, speaking about Casper, if you look at what he looked like about a couple of months ago to today, you would see that he had actually put in effort to look fit, and well, he looked all right, but you could tell that Naak Music on the other side, he is more of like the gym guy, the bodybuilder guy, and yeah, you could he yeah, okay, straight off. Let's just get into it, guys, before I ramble off. So the whole event was beautifully put together for a celebrity boxing event situation, and I was very surprised at the quality of like the undercard, the fighters, the real boxers that were in there. So I watched the co-main. There was a title on the line. I watched the co-main, some South African title there. I can't remember what weight class it was. Beautiful display of boxing down there in South Africa, and I got carried away because I forgot that the main event was not actually pro boxers. So like I kind of put my expectations too high. Kind of forgot about that these guys are just celebrity boxers, and yeah. So I'm just gonna get straight into it. So I'm saying that for the second time. So first of all, I'm gonna talk about the entrances. Naak came out to Seem Dope, which is a AKA song. I feel like that's kind of a jab to Casper, because Casper and AKA have been very popular. The beef between the two rappers has been very popular. So the thing that you're fighting this guy, it's kind of like a mental warfare to work out to his like arch nemesis like music as your entrance music. So he made his work. He came. There were a few chants in there for Naak Music. He probably had like say 40% of the crowd. I don't know that's how it sounded over from the TV, because I wasn't there live. But so Casper made his work. There was a chant of Mufasa, Mufasa. Casper came out to a noise that had sirens. So I kind of feel like this is a tribute to Mike Tyson, because Casper feels like he is Mike Tyson. Uh, I think Mike Tyson against Spinks around the 90s, against Michael Spinks, he walked out to some noise. I think that's what Casper was trying to do, kind of intimidate the opponent. Yeah, well, it looked dope. Casper walked out. He left his entourage on the stage, walked by himself, spotlight on him, got into the ring, made the announcements. Crowd went crazy. Big fight feel. It kind of felt like it was a big fight. So yeah, it was all interesting. And then straight away the first round. So the first round, I'm just gonna I'm just gonna show you a bit of my screen here. Let's see what's here. So the first round, both fighters, they came out swinging heavy, boy. They were really, I would say Cassper was loading up from all his shots. Um, and honestly, I kind of felt like that was a bit too reckless. He was kind of pouring out all his energy in the first round. I feel like he was trying to live up to the hype of his hashtag, which was knock him out. He literally walked in, Mike Tyson vibe, music, locked in. He just wanted to get that first round KO. And it wasn't that easy. It wasn't that easy. There was a lot of unorthodox boxing, as you can see, from the defensive side of Naak. A lot of clinching, but Cassper kept on swinging heavy. He kept on swinging heavy. I forgot to point out that it's a 5 round fight, 2 minutes per round, which is it's an exhibition. There was an agreement, so it's not really a professional boxing fight per se. I'm pretty sure the boxing gloves were like kind of were extra padded, like not many ounces padded. I don't know the number yet, so knockouts wouldn't be too common in such fights with such boxing gloves, if you understand what I mean. So going back to the first round, Cassper was swinging heavy. He was connecting. I feel he got Naak hurt a couple of times. Naak was struggling to stay in there, struggling to stay on his feet, but he did a good job staying in there. So there was a lot of energy dumped by Cassper in the first round. So all looked good, yeah. Then we went into the second round. So the second round came in. I saw like a short left hook that landed on the chin of Naak from Cassper, and that kind of staggered Naak music, and he kind of tried to survive, but he came on just in the second round, guys. Just in the second round, quickly, I noticed that Cassper was getting gassed. He was getting tired, even though he was getting some success. But even professional fighters don't swing, don't load on them shots and swing that heavy like all the time. You understand? So Cassper was not pacing at all. He was just going all out in the second round. He was connecting, getting Naak hurt. So but I would say late on the second round, Naak started landing those jabs. Because I can see from the first round, Naak kind of like his style, his approach to that game was boxing from the outside. Because Cassper, he had longer reach than Cassper, so you would say that's the traditional boxing approach. Longer guy stays outside, shorter guy kind of comes in. So he was trying to like some weird looking jab, keeping Cassper out there. Then he started landing those jabs, and then Cassper started clinching in the second round. Then we got to the third round, guys, and it looked sloppy from there. It wasn't too entertaining from there. Both fighters were gassed, but Cassper was more gassed. You can tell from both physical condition. Cassper was Naak had better condition, mostly because he did not dump energy as much as Cassper did. I feel like Cassper would have done better if he was patient. But anyways, third round, both fighters were tired. I feel I need to point this out. The ref, guys, the ref, whenever he separates them, he makes them go to their corners in a 2 minute round. That takes a lot of time out of the clock. So I feel like in boxing, when you separate fighters, it's literally like 2 meters apart, and then you guys continue, but not go back to your corner. That's wasting too much of time, most especially in a bout that's just 2 minutes around. I feel like the ref kind of slowed things down as well. It got to a point that once the ref kind of steps in, the fighters will just turn their head around and just walk the other way. Like that was how gassed they were, and that's very uncommon in boxing, guys. So yeah, the third round very sloppy. Fourth round came sloppy as hell. There was and I must mention, as sloppy as it was in the third round, I gotta give it to Naak, because Naak was kind of like the least tired person, so he was kind of jabbing in. Some haymakers were landing. Cassper was clinching, so Cassper was trying to survive. Naak was trying to survive, but Cassper was kind of in the bad end of things. And in the fourth round, a double knockdown happened, but unofficially it wasn't called a knockdown. But I could see that Cassper landed, and then Naak stumbled on him, and then they both went to the ground because obviously they were tired. So, but it kind of looked funny. It was a double knockdown. Both guys were still tired, but you could still see that Naak was still into it. Cassper landed the most heavy shots, but Naak was more like commanding in like ring control, in from a ring control perspective, but still sloppy. Fifth round came. Cassper trying to go for it, but he was still getting punished because they were both tired again, as I said, because he wasn't smart enough to be patient with his approach. But all in all, when the fight was done, I thought Naak got like 3 rounds out of there, or maybe 4 if you want to give him the second. And I thought, due to the fact that Cassper organized this whole thing, he sponsored the whole thing. Well, not really sponsored the whole thing, but his brands were all around the event. I kind of thought that the judges might kind of be impartial about it. But yeah, the judges gave it to Naak. But what I didn't hear was the points. I did not hear how they scored it. They were just like unanimous decision, majority decision, Naak music. But yeah, all in all, I think the better fighter won. Better fighter. But I feel like it was more of Cassper losing the fight than Naak actually winning, because Naak kind of survived, didn't dump too much energy as Cassper did. When it comes to like the punches and the boxing stance, you could tell that Cassper was more trained, even though he kind of looked amateurish in there, but he was more trained. I feel like there's the knockdown I was talking about. I feel like if Cassper was more patient with his punches, with his strikes, and with his strategy, I feel like he would have won this easy majority. But he was looking for that knockout, and he dumped all his energy. So yeah, Naak music born. A disappointment. I think I'm not sure what the betting line was, but I can see there was a Hollywood betting sponsoring, so I'm pretty sure that Cassper came in heavy favorite, because I thought Cassper would win. For he was just gonna knock him out, as he said. Naak came out, as he said, but yeah, Naak has a solid chin. And yeah, so what are my takeaways from this? Yeah, it's the condition. Naak has a big heart. He took some wicked shots. So Cassper in the end landed more shots, heavy shots, landed heavier shots, the big shots. But Naak came out the winner, mostly because of how sloppy the fight was. So yeah, that's just about it, guys. I just decided to just come here and talk about it. Make sure you like and subscribe. We talk a lot about African fights, from MMA to the UFC to African fighters all around the world. Make sure you like and subscribe and do all the good things for the African fighters. So yeah, African fighters, guys, we out. Peace. Come on, Africans! Ow.